Hi, my name is Ulysses Williams. I'm the executive director for Art Crawl Harlem, and I've been the executive director for the past 5 years, but the organization was founded back in 2008 by two women in Harlem, and they wanted to expand the awareness of arts and artists and the institutions that exist in Harlem with the larger community. And they did that through a guided trolley tour. And it was seasonal. They did it about twice a year. And then after several years went by, they started really curating special exhibits with a theme, connecting with art spaces and galleries and artist studios within Harlem. And that's how they really grew this guided art tour. Since then, thankfully, because of us applying to Governors Island, we applied for a house in order to create a residency program. And this is before COVID started. And if it wasn't for us being accepted here, I'm not really sure if the organization might have existed through that period. And fortunately, we were able to do that for this is our 4th year on the island. And we still do exhibits in Harlem spaces at least once a year. And we really just want to expand the awareness of artists and among those people who love the arts and those people who might be novices and just maybe interested in the arts and knowing more, as well as collectors.
Hi, my name is Daniel Robin Clurman. I'm a painter and a visual artist. Right now I'm doing a residency at the LMCC, which is the permanent art center on Governors Island. But last year I did a residency with Art Crawl Harlem, which was amazing. So this is my second sort of season on Governors Island, and it's, a very inspiring place for me. It's a lot of work, but the work is amazing, and the people and the other artists that I meet here are incredible, and I'm having a great season again. And, come to Governors Island. It's great.
Hi there, my name is Orestes Gonzalez. I was trained as an architect, and I'm a photo artist based in Long Island City, Queens. I'm also one of the curators at Culture Lab in Long Island City, which is a great center for arts and music and performances. I've been working with photographers for the past 20 years. I basically specialize in landscape, urbanscapes, street photography, and portraiture. I'm really happy to be here. I will be doing some portraiture for Transborder over the weekend, and I hope to see you there.
Hi, my name is Wendy Gonzalez. I'm part of the New York Latin American Art Triennial organization, and we are here in Governor Island for the second time. The last year we have the part of the show that we present at Via Jala, Structural Origin, and that took place in New York or in 10 different places, including the Bronx Art Space with the printmaking salon. Now we are present here our residency program, and soon we will have the exhibition for the New York Latin American Art Triennial for 2020.
During this season, NYLA and PTN organization showcase 7 exhibitions at NYLA House and 7 exhibitions in partnership with Transporters Art. Also, we have a fantastic group of 11 artists in our resident program. Jacqueline Aaron Brook, an artist in residence. Alessi Mendoza showcased the exhibition Roots, Time, and Wind Like a Shadow. The exhibition Feminist Projection by Ana de Obregoso. Dulcina Abreu, a curator in residence, chose the collective exhibition Monument. Ezequiel Tavera present an impressive installation called Her to Her. Flavia Bertorello, an artist in residence, present in the landscapes. Sabrina Merallo Núñez, another artist in residence, showcased her installation with pieces titled Weaver Nest and Siamese Twin. Pablo Caviedes presents his exhibition Cranium. Navy Perez her solo show Martyr. Darwin Erazo with Andes. Graciela Casel with water, Kevin Quiles Bonilla, and other artists in residence. They are just part of the all talented artists Naila has this year at Governors Island.
My name is Sabine and I'm the Executive Director of Bronx Art Space. Bronx Art Space was founded by two artists in 2010, so we are 13 years old. I'm the director since 2019. Yeah, we started as an organization to give Bronx artists and talents a chance to show in a professional surrounding. We started in Mott-Haven. We had a gallery space there for more than 7 years, lost it due to gentrification right before the pandemic, and lucked out by getting a new space in the Hunts Point area in the Bronx. Just a good year ago, and since then we are in Hunts Point in the Bronx, and we have an exhibition program in our space, 8 exhibitions per year. But we also applied for Governors Island 3 years ago. We got a house here, and we are able since then to send 6 to 7 artists from the Bronx to Governors Island and experience this great environment, and also having the space, a room for themselves, space to work a little bigger, and time and be here is really essential for all the artists. And this year we got the house not only for 3 months but for half a year. It gives me the chance to enable 12 artists from the Bronx this year to come to Governors Island and be 2 cohorts who are here in this half year. So we are very happy and glad that we get this opportunity and hope to continue.
As you mentioned, I realized that space is one of the most important things about being on Governors Island. Living in Manhattan, space is a premium and hard to find. And so as a nonprofit, and as the executive director of Art Crawl Harlem, being able to offer space, studio space especially, to emerging and professional artists is so important. Not only to them, and the needs of the artists, but important to the organization, because, and also in addition to that, being able to offer artists space to install their work and exhibit their work. Because, just this year alone, we started off with just 3 artists the first year in 2020, right? And the year was condensed because of the pandemic, and each artist got about 7 weeks, And so we've grown since then to really service even more artists. This year, I think we'll have about 15 artists engaged with the house over this year from May through November. And I'm overjoyed with the fact that these artists also get to engage with the public while they're in process, which is sometimes totally new for an artist. So I enjoy Governors Island, and it's a respite from all the craziness going on in the city, I think.
I came to Governors Island last summer in August and did the Art Crawl Harlem Residency. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, I lost my space as well, and so I lost my studio of 15 or 16 years, and that was traumatic. And so I stopped painting for 2 years, and during that time I was doing a lot of drawing. I did not stop making art, but I did a lot of drawing. But coming to Governors Island last summer was the first time I really started painting and had a space to paint. And I really thrived in that moment. And it was hard because after not painting for 2 years, it was hard to feel like I could do it, but I could do it, and I feel like I made some successes last summer. And this spring and summer at the LMCC, I feel 100 times better about my painting. I feel like I have a great space. I have an amazing studio. I'm looking out over the beautiful harbor. I also am just in a much more developed way and where I want to be in my painting, what I've been doing, and the hard work that I put in and all the other artists have put in, because I feel like we do spend a lot of time with each other, and I think about Governors Island is the camaraderie with the other artists, and I love talking to the artists in my residency that I see. I love talking to the artists that I see at different residencies on Colonel's Row and other places. And so this has just been a great place to make paintings and really expand my practice and my ideas. And, you know, and there's something like, I feel like this project or the paintings I'm working on right now have taken a really romantic tone in a way. For me, I would say romantic. And I think, you know, part of that romance is Governors Island, and part of what, or how I see romance is something urban, but something pastoral as well.
Now we have an art residency here, and it's great because we have an artist who came from Costa Rica to spend 2 months in our residency here. His name is Carlos Jove. He's a printmaker, and I suppose you see his big character he put on around the old house. And we also have the Amidor Chevalier. He's from Haiti, Joanna Roa from Colombia, and Maria Elena Pombo from Venezuela. They are totally different in the technique, but they are so great.
I live in New York. I love New York. I think it's an incredible melting pot of different cultures, of different experiences and different levels of success. As an architect, working in historical preservation, basically in areas of Brooklyn and Harlem, I experienced a bunch of interesting interactions with the population, which made me feel even more part of this beautiful city. As I turned towards more into photography, I created a vocabulary where the environment was part of the portraiture that I would work in. Therefore, the urban landscape, the street photography environment, and portraiture itself have all melded into a style that I think is indicative of my experiences in the city. I don't do studio photography per se. I like to work outside. I like to work with things that I find. Therefore, I don't work with a lot of equipment. I work with found objects, and I work with the people that I find and that don't need a lot of preparation in order for them to sit in front of me. One series that I started about 5 years ago is called Colocasia. Colocasia is the scientific name for elephant ear. Elephant ear plants. Every April I plant 20 to 30 bulbs in my garden. By the end of August they start blooming, and I have people from all walks of life sit for me. This portraiture experience I'm going to have here at Governors Island through Transborder will bring me in connection with a bunch of other people that I can invite back and have their portraiture taken in my garden.
Everybody talks about, or the artists, it's clear how much this island is transforming your art. I see this over the years with the artists who were with Bronx Art Space as well. What I also want to kind of underline is that coming from the Bronx, our artists get exposed to an audience that comes from Brooklyn and Manhattan. And, you know, it's really, really important to see that they are also, that a lot of people don't know about the Bronx, don't go there. So we have to be here in order to show what we are doing. And I think this is why this is such a great opportunity to bring people from Harlem or from the Bronx that are not nearby to this island and show them what is possible. We also have an open studio weekend that is the end of the residency with our artists. We don't bother them most of the time, but we say at the end of the residency, please, you know, we have 3 days that we have an open house, and it's important for them also to finish their projects, to really present them in a professional way, get them photographed, and then really finish up. And what I also see is, and I think you might agree, is being here is kind of a privilege, because it is a good thing for every artist's resume to say, I was a resident for whatever organization on Governors Island, because what I see that they thrive from here when they really worked and were really had a professional attitude of the Bronx Museum. They go into the Lower Manhattan cultural, they have a residence there, like, the artists we talked about before. And so I think this is also for the professional way of art, kind of a stepstone into a more professional career as an artist. And like I said, it's really good for artists' resumes saying that they had a residency on Governors Island. It's really kind of a privilege coming here.
Yeah, I agree with you. They get more exposure here. It's totally true. NYLA, as an organization that support Latin American artists inside and outside the U.S., get a lot of exposure here. For example, some artists get more opportunity, make exhibition in other great places. It's great.
Yeah. Art Crawl Harlem, as the executive director and then also the curator, my residency is always themed. So the first year was 100 Years of Harlem, the centennial of the Harlem Renaissance. So artists were asked when they apply, every year artists apply, we do a call for artists, and they're asked to write a narrative around that, an idea of the direction of their work. And I asked that they create a series of work, a cohesive series. We've all seen artists where they might do really good one-offs, right? But maybe not pushed to do a comprehensive series. We challenge them as well as the artist challenges themselves if they're really committed, right? So the first year was 100 Years of Harlem. Then we did 1 year, the theme was art and activism. 1 year was a simple Boundaries and Connections, which is the name of our artist residency house. And this year it's Boombox. The first year we had DeMarcus McGoy in the program, and he did a wonderful series of mixed media pieces. It was about 17 pieces in the end, because when he left the house he kept creating. And what he did was he merged old Harlem with new migrants, we might say, black folks that are still coming to Harlem, and trying to discover their dream. Everyone wants to be in New York, right? And so that's what his work was based on. And then Ricky Day, who is a professional photographer and artist in many other ways, he created a number series using Pan-African colors, which honored African Americans who had historical impact over time, here in America. Daniel here, he was last year's artist in residence. And his work is truly incredible. It's vibrant, meaningful. Last year he concentrated on doing work that really explored his relationship with his brother, and them reconnecting and the disconnect between them. Yet he celebrates it in such a vibrant way, as well as he does these wonderful series honoring black women. I don't know if you know that, but he does a wonderful series of honoring black women in his work. Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin, Marsha P. Johnson, thank you. And it's extraordinary. And this year we have 3 artists in residence officially. I am going to expand the program to invite more in, but this year we have Courtney Minor, who's a mixed media artist, concentrating mostly in collage, and I sit down with the artists at the beginning. I meet with them once a week, and I meet with them and start with, who are you? Where do you come from? How does that impact your work? And how is it going to impact what you're going to accomplish here? I see tremendous growth. Daniel is one spectrum. Yeah, he might not have been practicing, but his chops were always there, He works unabandonedly. And then this year, I think that some of the artists are still discovering that they have stories to tell. And also, they're discovering the fact that they can learn how to impact with the public while they're in process, which is brand new for most artists, And then also, I invite them to utilize the space and invite galleries in, Invite people in that you want to meet, that you want to become more familiar with what you do, your process and your work. I was just wondering, what have you guys discovered during your time here that has really has blown your mind or been amazing?
I think the networking phenomena that is created here is incomparable. You have all these houses, you have all these organizations. You're here for an extended period of time, you develop relationships. And those are so important. You know, artists usually work by themselves. They work in this cocoon that is good for experimentation and it's good for development of your own personal vocabulary. But it also isolates you a little bit. And this gives you that balance of actually meeting people and interacting with them.
This too, with artists who work kind of together in the house, that they, in a way, keep their network when the residency is over, and you know it can, and that is also important. Telling each other about opportunities. I mean, not only, you know, also New York is a tough place for artists. You know, the competition is so rough. And seeing that artists kind of try to collaborate with each other and help each other. Or one says, okay, I'm curating the show. Hey, you know, I will call you. You know, when I have it, then, you know, you might be one of my artists. So this is how we go forward with this. And this is, we start from here. This is kind of this, you know, the cell, and then it can really grow from here.
And like, those are the kind of things that can happen. I'm not going to say that they always happen, and there is something. Like, first of all, if you're an artist here and you want to be in other places and be more professional, you have to work. I mean, being an artist is really, really difficult. This residency, though it can be, I said, pastoral and romantic, it's really tough. And you have to get your body here almost every day or as many days as possible and work as much as possible. And that is... And there's no guarantee that you're going to get a show or anyone's going to like your work or you're going to sell one thing. But what you can do, and this is, as an artist, what you can do is do the best work you can of your life. And you just work as hard as you can and, you know, move on to the next thing. Even if they don't lead to the next thing, as an artist, they've led me to making better work. And so that's what Governors Island and the opportunity at Art Crawl Harlem and my opportunity at LMCC has led me to make more powerful work and better paintings.
Well, that's what it's all about, making better work, right?
Yeah.
As your career evolves, you want to make better work. And these opportunities are amazing for that reason alone.
Yeah.
You know, networking is good, but making better work is even better, don't you think?
I agree. Absolutely, making better work.
And you feel better about yourself. You know, you feel more secure as an artist.
Yes.
Because you're actually seeing the product evolve into something that's more enjoyable to you.
And I think you can do more for other artists when you're really making better work.
Absolutely.
Like, I can say to a gallery who might come visit me, listen, I'm making this work and you like my work, but I think you're going to actually like another resident's work too, because I think they might fit in your program as well.
Right.
And people will believe you because they know the type of work you're doing.
Right.
And that's one of the things about, if you focus on your work, you can actually branch out more and help other people. This year I'm much more involved with other artists because I feel more secure in my own work. It's like, I know what I'm doing even when I don't know what I'm doing, because I'm just like, I'm just gonna do it, and I know what it is. I know what I'm attracted to, and I don't feel, last year I was definitely insecure because I was really picking up the paintbrush for the first time in 2 years. Though I had been drawing and making two-dimensional work with abandon, as you put it, before that, and I did quite well financially with that. Painting again was definitely a new thing, and so, but now I feel secure and I love meeting other artists, talking with program directors and artists and
Ulysses.
And so it's enjoyable, and I think there's a lot I can do for other artists, and you know, I'm happy to be involved in that.
I have an exhibit up now. I don't want to say any names, but I have an artist who I had this affinity with, had never met him before, and then all of a sudden he applies to be a part of an exhibit, and I was like, wow, I get to meet him. And so I didn't curate it. Another artist curated it, and she was a former resident, Erica Morales. And so in getting to know her and her work, this other artist said, I'm going to introduce you to a few museums and galleries, all right, who know me and I believe in your work. You know, and that networking, you cannot beat it, you know. And that's years down the line. And most of the artists, they have another job, right? Very few artists are 100%, you know, 24 hours a day. You know, it's hard to come by. But I have that hope for all of the artists in my residency that one day they can just live off their art, right? But it's that networking that makes the difference.
I love doing photography in the city of New York. The city is so rich in its history of architecture and the built environment that to capture it in a different way, not in an architectural way, but in a way where you get the feeling of history and the warmth of humanity in the city is really important. So I try to work and I try to emphasize that environment and that humanity in my landscape work.
Well, we are having 6 artists in the house right now, and I must say I have so much respect for all of them, because what you mentioned before, they are all teaching. They are all teaching, they're all working, and they come after work an hour from the Bronx to the island in order to put in some hours. The weekend is something else, but during the week they sometimes come, you know, and they are working here till 11, till the last ferry, and then go back to the Bronx and work the next morning. I'm full of respect for all of my artists.
Well, the fact that I was speaking to one of my artists this morning, and she said, you know, because they're here for 3 months and a couple of weeks to just get settled in, and they're traveling kind of far and wide, like your artists. And she said, today, she said, now I just enjoy it. I enjoy the train ride. I enjoy the boat ride. I enjoy the fact that I'm here and in her own space creating, because we know artists have to sometimes create in their kitchens, right? In their living room, maybe even the bathroom sometimes, you know, hanging things to dry. Yeah. So, but for them to have a dedicated space where they can, you know, stretch out, you know, and be and do is amazing for them.